All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Harambedome.
There's that energy.
Yeah,
I
got
love
gotta
it.
gotta start after recent criticisms
After
by
Wardle,
guests who were on the show giving the criticisms. I had to change up my intro tune a little bit, and
did
now
you
Wardle's
so
been
change up the
known as a
mic
guy of
volumes too?
very high energy.
what's that?
Who, me or Va? I said
Both of you said stuff.
I said Wardle's always been known as a man of very high energy.
Oh, most definitely. Wardle is probably the most high energy guy I know, especially
My question
during.
was
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no. My question was after recent criticisms, did you also adjust the mic volumes?
That I didn't do because I'll continue to be a poor host and that co-host in that sense. I was gonna throw in. Remember how high energy Wardle was when he was losing Yu-Gi-Oh duels?
I don't, because I was never a fucking nerd.
That was one of the things
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, Jordan.
that was. Oh yeah, you two wouldn't play. I forgot about that. Well, that was one from we'll just say T instead of T who must not be named because he left the league. Um, he always roasted Wardle on low energy when playing Yu-Gi-Oh when he was losing. That was one of his main roasts.
Well, that's a valid roast. I mean, you got to like really stand up and say, "I'm gonna throw my Charizard."
Didn't you build the deck, Jordan?
I don't know.
You had like
Yeah,
a
see,
rabbit deck, rabbit or something like that. It was
The
called
Rabbit
something.
Dragon.
Yeah, the rabbit dragon. See,
Yeah,
you
and then I
my
remember.
and then I realized, wait a second, I'm not a
my hands are
fucking nerd.
clean. I didn't build my own deck.
um, we actually have Yu-Gi-Oh players that still play in our league right now. So what are you saying to them, co-host?
Ooh, so I can address them directly.
Um, does does JB not still play Yu-Gi-Oh?
I doubt it. I think he plays Magic on his computer or whatever, but I doubt he plays Yu-Gi-Oh.
I thought him and Loesch did. I
I
thought
could
I
see like still playing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if a damn Yarny was playing, but
okay.
I don't think JB does.
Well, fair. We won't make any
JB's too
comments.
busy fingering those frets and just straight putting out bangers on his guitar.
Does he finger A minors?
Listen, he's a Renaissance man. He can do all that and play Yu-Gi-Oh at the same time. All right. Well, enough criticisms here across the board. Let's get into what we're looking at here. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot he was here. He needs to introduce himself, even though we know exactly who he is. Guest, who we got
It's
today?
Vava.
You got to say your team
Hold
name.
up, you
Try
cut
try
up.
like Vi, you got to say like your team name.
All right, you're gonna edit that out, right?
I'll do no such thing.
It's it's Doctor Lieutenant Vava. I'm gonna have to change my. Actually, I guess the doctor is kind of inaccurate, but yes, Doctor Lieutenant Vava. Long time listener, first time guest.
Wait, what are you gonna have to change? You're not gonna be a
I mean,
lieutenant?
now I'm gonna be. So I'm not a doctor right now. That's kind
Oh,
of inaccurate, but I am a lieutenant. But then I'll graduate like next year in June, and I'll
so
be
you're
a
about
captain then, but I'll actually be a doctor.
okay. So you're like 30% the right name.
50%. We're not getting into this shit.
Okay.
Or maybe we should have the viewers decide. Fuck yeah, fuck that now.
All right. Well, maybe we'll get into that conversation later. So I have to ask, and I think everybody's been wondering this, and if not everybody, then maybe just me. But is the image on your little icon is it Spider Potty
Oh
or is it Spider Man?
well, see, I can't disclose that on the dome.
Okay,
That's fair. All right.
that's a good enough answer.
Yeah, if it can't be disclosed and it has to do with Parry, then we already know he's an internationally wanted man with how he's getting stopped at airports.
Every single time, dude.
Parry's in good shape though. I didn't realize that was Parry.
What are you saying?
Parry's in good shape.
All right, let's move on to football stuff.
All right. So let's just jump right into it then. We'll get into winner of the week. Winner of the week. Go ahead, guest. Kick us off.
All right. Winner of the week. I feel like it's going to be this is going to be a very common opinion, but finally taking down Sean is the Wardissi himself.
Yes.
It was a pretty low scoring week for everyone. What was it, like 130 being the highest or something?
Yeah.
No one broke it was very low, but Wardle scored a decent amount of points. And also what it means for him in his own division. He's second now, tied with JB, just one game behind me. I think that was a pretty good win for him. Big win for the entire league as Sean is finally defeated. So I'm going to give it to him.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, he got help from people that I didn't expect to really give him help, like Ramondre. Dalvin was it really just one big run that made him score his points?
I mean, if you're talking about Dalvin, yes. Wardle was actually texting me about it. Because I was doing something and I wasn't able to check my phone for a little bit, and when I came, like Dalvin had 4 points, and then I came back and he had 21. And
yeah,
it was quite literally a 53-yard touchdown, which I actually wanted to bring something up when we got to this portion. So, and Vi, I think you've pointed this out in years past, but it looks like...
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It looks like ESPN gives running backs, if they get a 50-yard touchdown, and I don't know how to fix this except by taking away the 50-yard bonus. It gives them the 50-yard bonus.
Well, can you change the 50-yard bonus to just 1 point?
Yeah, it gives... Okay, so that's... And you know what? I feel like that was something that, like, way earlier last season we talked about discussing when off-season came, and I think we all just forgot about it.
Yeah. No, every single time, like, a running back breaks away and look at the points, I notice it, and I'm like, I know I've brought this up. But, I mean, it's whatever. It's 1 point.
Well, but it's not 1 point right now, isn't it? Because he got 9 points from those two. I'm probably actually wrong there. It's probably not exactly 9. But he got points for like a 50-yard bonus and a 40-yard bonus. And let me
hasn't that always been the case, even with receivers?
I'll double check that right now.
So oh shit, it's 2 and 3. I see what you're saying.
So
the thing with receivers,
so, yeah, it's way less than I thought. But,
yeah.
But yeah, so because I can click, I'm on my phone right now because it makes it easier. I'll click right on the points. Yeah, he got a 3-point 50-yard rushing touchdown bonus and a 2-point 40-yard rushing touchdown bonus because it's
for the same rush.
Plus.
It stacks on top of each other.
So it's
but I'm pretty sure it does that for receivers as well.
It does it for receivers, but it's not a huge deal because it's like a 1-point swing for receivers.
Okay. Who do we know that's had like a 50 or longer touchdown this year?
Gabe last week.
Gabe. Okay, so let me.
Yeah, that's really who I was checking.
Yeah. Okay. So Gabe. Va, you said you already checked.
Yeah, I mean you get the 1 point for the 40 and 2 points for a 50.
Okay, so it's like a 1-point swing, because if you get 1 point for the 40, and let's say you should get 2 points total for the 50, you get 3 instead because it stacks. Whereas for running backs, you get 2 points for the 40. Let's say you want to give them 3 points for the 50, like total. They now instead get 5 points total. So it's like I guess it's a 2-point swing instead of 1-point swing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's 2 points. For receivers, it's 1 point.
Right? Yeah, for receivers, 1 point. So is that something that like we should not forget and like next season go back and maybe just make it 1 point for the 50 plus since it stacks like that?
Yeah, in the off season. But like that's on you to remember
but I personally don't have too big of an issue with it.
Yeah, I could see it becoming a thing with like
I lost
Go
by
ahead.
more than 1 point, so it wouldn't have mattered in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just saying for the aspect of down the road, say that loss comes in a 1 point loss to someone, is it really fair that their running back's getting like that, like a whole extra ass point for the same
I think
run?
it's fair in the sense that that's how it's always been, and this is the time that it led to them losing. But that's why I'm saying I think just to clean up the points or like clean up the league, something they do in the off season. It's not a huge deal, but I could see it becoming like a
Yeah, like if
an
it
But
issue.
actually did lead to
it's
someone
also a
losing.
big deal to get over a 50-yard rushing touchdown.
I agree. Well, I'm not saying
That's
to
but
take away the rushing touchdown point, but because they stack and a 40 is a 50 as well, it would, to me, it would. I don't think it's the same, but it's kind of in the sense where it's like if a kicker scores like a 50-yard field goal, should they also get points for kicking it past 40 and 30 as well? Like, no, it's because they kicked a 50 plus. So I feel like you don't take away the bonus, but just because we acknowledge that it stacks and we can't do anything about it, maybe make the bonus less for the 50-yard plus since they're already getting the points for the 40-yard plus. Make it just if they get 2 points for a 40 plus rushing touchdown bonus, give them 1 point for the 50 instead of 3 points because
Yeah.
it gives them the extra point.
yeah, because like right now, what's happening is 49-yard rushes get 2 points like bonus, and then 50-yard would get if they run 1 extra yard, they're going to get 5 points total.
Right,
So
so
I
they're
think
gonna
that's
get
good.
3 points for that 50-yard rush and 2 points for that 40 for the same rush of 50 yards. So I think it should be switched to they get maybe we can even change change how much a 40-yard rush is worth. Maybe we could make it
No, I
3.
think that's good because Jordan brings up a good point. 50-yard rush is I think, more impressive than a 50-yard catch
Okay, so would it be more
or even like
about
a catch and reception.
should it be more about reducing the 40-yard like so what'd you say it was right now for a 40-yard? It's 2.
Yeah,
And
so
what
then
is
just
it?
add 1 bonus for 50-yard.
And then a 50-yard. Okay, so yeah, add a bonus. So make it 2 for a 40-yard rush, keep that, and then drop it from 3 down to 1 for a 50-yard rush.
Yeah, and then receptions it's 1-1, 40, and then the bonus.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair because it's the same rush, but it treats it like it's a 40, like they did 2 different rushes. I think I'd say
Yeah.
that's fair. All right, I mean that was
All right.
we can discuss it as a league as we kind of as people listen. Maybe it'll come up in the chat tomorrow, but yeah, we'll look at that. So anyway, not that it would have mattered again. I lost by 14, but for future reference. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I lost 5-1, and Wardle. More importantly than me losing, Wardle is the Wardussy connoisseur. So
Yeah.
the Wardussy is the Wardussy connoisseur, and what does that mean?
I think that means he's just devouring his own.
Yeah, he's munching his own
Odyssey.
blocks.
He's
got a lot of flexibility. That's what that means.
That's good to know. Actually, I knew that, so that was something I knew. Yeah, so he's the Wardussy connoisseur. Now, the question is, does this end that little game? Since he won it, it's like, he won. He got his Wardussy.
Oh, no, not at all.
He got his Wardussy back. The game's over. Or does it keep going?
The game's not chase the Wardussy. It's who's the connoisseur. It's not chase the Wardussy. And the game ends when he gets it back.
So when he gets his Wardussy back, it's still grabbable.
Exactly.
Okay, so who plays him this week? Because that's definitely who I'm rooting for.
Matt.
All right. He's 1 game behind me, but I'm rooting for him. Get that fucking Wardussy. All right. I'll do my winner of the week. I'd say my winner of the week. I would like to credit my winner of the week. I've bounced between a couple, and it's because can we also acknowledge that this week was definitely weird in the sense that it not only was it one of the lower scoring weeks we've had so far, if not the lowest. Aside from the Spank Engine not being able to pull off the upset, everyone with the losing record won. So, like, King of the West, I don't know if King of the West had a losing record. He might have been 3-2, but like he was going up against undefeated and he won. And then follow Spike, who has been not great, and Lamar Stan, who we've been complimenting, follows Spike 1. Bums are us.
Yeah.
You know, Va, both Jordan and I have talked about from the start how you have from the start have been like one of the better teams on paper looking, and then Bums Are Us beat you, and then the ascended low shoes was 1-4, continued to ascend against Jordan, who also we've agreed has one of the better teams on paper, and so that a very weird week of upsets. It's like a very upsetty week, and I'd say Follow Spike takes the cake for my winner of the week in this week of upsets because he was definitely going through it injury wise. If Thomas the Spank Engine had won, he would have been my winner of the week because of the upset. Because I know he's going through it injury wise too. But yeah, Follow Spike pulled it off against a good Lamar Stan team, and so you know I'd say that's commendable. Lamar Stan went with the Taysom Hill and Jordan as you predicted. You know, it's one of those weeks where he had 45 the week before, he had 5 this week. And
wait, who'd you say your winner of the week was? Follow Spike?
Follow Spike. I'm gonna give it to Follow Spike because that's a big one. I mean, 1-4. We were just talking last week. I think Cole was the one saying that, like, you know, you're 1-4, you go 1-5, like you really are looking at a hole that's gonna be hard to dig out of. Because if you're 1-5 at that point, there is a reason that you're at that point. Typically, it's not just like 5 straight games of like bad luck, playing better opponents, and so to get to 2-4, that really brings the league a lot closer because all the winning records lost and most of the losing records won.
So, that was going to be for Matt.
Yes, except for Matt.
Yeah, Ted continued to get sunk down there, but we'll get to him, I'm sure.
Yeah, Follow Spike was going to be my winner of the week as well, just because, like, pretty much exactly what you were saying. He was on that slide of going down, looking like, his team might not be able to recover from too many more L's, but he was able to pick up a dub and keep himself alive. Yeah. But since that was taken, I'm going to go ahead and say my winner of the week. Because fuck Loesch, I'm not going to give it to Ascended Loesch. I'll go ahead and slide it to the Bums, who are us.
I think you got
taking down a powerhouse in Dr. Lieutenant Vava, someone who is just being a beast in the West. It's not often you see Josh Allen get outscored.
And I had 2 of the Bengals receivers too. That was so frustrating.
Yeah, and like those 2 weren't the ones that popped off either.
Nope,
unfortunately.
4 touchdowns, none to my receivers.
And you would think a team that has a RB2 score only 2.2 points, you'd think bad things would happen to that team. But I guess when you got Mark Andrews as your tight end and then Eckler finally playing well.
Yeah. I will say, I was thinking this before the matchup too. I was expecting a loss going into the week just because of how many injuries I had. I know you always notice like your own injuries because you're always looking at your own roster. But if I'm going down the list that week, Jonathan Taylor was out, Josh Jacobs on a bye. I wasn't going to play Schultz anyways, so don't care about him. Damian Harris was out, and Chris Olave was out. Yeah. And it was a bad week. I was thinking about even starting like Schultz, my tight end, as my flex because I literally couldn't pick anyone off the waiver wire because there was no one droppable. But I picked up Boyd thinking he'd get me something. He did decent, but wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, I would take a little 9-pointer from my flex.
Yeah, I'll take that. But Burrow with 44, you'd think Higgins and Boyd would have more.
Yeah.
And also, I had high hopes for the San Francisco defense going against the Falcons, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because they've been pretty lights out.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
You expect more than what they started with playing against Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Which apparently is now 9 points that they start with somehow.
Yeah, how the fuck did that happen?
I mean, do you want me to explain how it happened?
I mean, is the explanation just you went in and changed settings?
I'm more curious about how it happened and there was no notification.
So okay, so I'll actually I'll full transparency. We're on Dome. So I did. Granted, while I was broad, I have already replied, like sent the message back into the chat where I did state that I made changes on defensive scoring, so it was notified. And I actually didn't. My dumbass didn't even like connect that taking away a point in that situation of what I changed would take away a starting defensive point. I didn't even think when they started with 9, I was also wondering what the fuck was going on. And then I was like, oh, yeah, I did change that defensive setting. That makes sense. And the reason for the change was because one thing I did remember from conversations during season was that a lot of people were complaining about how drastically defenses dropped. Like
Yeah.
defense is getting -7, negative this, negative. And so I was like, okay, well, let's make it so that defenses don't kill you so fucking bad. Like they can get into the negative, but they're not gonna fucking drop to like. Cause I can't remember what the worst defensive was, but there was definitely a couple that got like -7. I don't know about -8, but there was some weeks, and I know people were talking about how much defense was going down for like just yards allowed. Like it's like, oh, it's just a high scoring yardage game, and that's causing my defense to go deep into the negatives. And so what I did, and I'm looking on my phone because it's easier here. The league. Oh my god, league settings. Where is?
Are you doing it on your phone so there's no transparency?
So transfer. I mean, I can go to the. No, my computer's just running slow. Anyone who's
So while you look at that, I get what you're saying in the sense that I know I'd always be looking at my defense scores, and there was some point where if they hit a certain amount of yards, it would go from like +2 to
hello,
or like crossing that fold. But I think instead of it is what it is now. But instead of giving them starting it
Hey, Va,
because
I don't mean to cut you off, but Jordan, is Va cutting out to you too, or is that just on my end?
Sounds like real sped up, and
yeah,
Mine does?
yeah.
at times, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that is why I was using my phone because my computer is running slow. But
Sure.
it was cutting both of you off. Hold on, let me fix this shit real quick.
Maybe it's internet. I don't know.
Yeah, my internet seems fine. So, Va, I have the defensive thing up now. So can you just re-explain what you were saying so everyone can hear it?
Yeah, so I'm trying. I think I have a good way of explaining it. So it would start at 10, and then it'd go like 9-8, but then at a certain yard amount, it would drop 2, like 9-8, and then 6. And so I think what you did is to prevent that 2-point drop, you just start at 9, and now it just goes down by 1, like 9-8, 7-6 by 4. I don't know how the scoring works, but I think a better thing would have been, and it's not a huge deal again, but still start at 10, but somehow find a way to prevent that 2-point drop. So start at 10, and then it doesn't go 9-8, 7-5 or something like that. But
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So now that I have it up, I hear what you're saying. So what my train of thought was on it was when I looked at how the points things are set up, and if you're watching the actual video, you can see what I'm looking at. It was so the way it was before was it had dropped, and I don't think that was default setting. I think one of the earlier seasons I had shifted it to this. I can't remember though, and so I don't know if it was me shifting it back or what. Because I know defenses usually start with 10, but when I looked at like so your defense loses points for points allowed and yards allowed. And so
Yeah.
when I looked at like what the scoring was, you have your base, and so then it's like if you allow 0 points, your defense has 5. And then the less than 100 total yards, I had changed to 4. I must have changed to 4 because that's where the 10 comes from, because you start out allowing less than total yards and less than points. So I think the reason I had changed it to 4 was because when I was looking at the yards allowed, like so when it went from
Did it go like
100
5, 3, 2, 1?
Well, so basically I was trying to cap it at if you allowed 500 before if you had allowed 550 plus total yards, it was -7 points. And so I said this should be capped at 5, -5. And so starting from the top and going down, my train of thought was, let's just have it go down by 1. In order for it to be at -5 by the time it hits the 550, I had to start at 4 from the less than 100 portion, because it's like 4 is less than 100, 100 to 199 is 3, 200 to 299 is 2,
Yeah.
and then I didn't even it just went straight into -1 actually.
Oh, there's no
It
like
does,
zero.
but it did the same thing because I didn't tinker with the scoring, like with the points allowed, because that's still 0 points allowed is still at 5. So I didn't tinker with that, and that one also goes straight from 1 to -1. So
Okay.
I
I think
must have
that's
skipped 1 at the end there to try and get it to -5. I guess just something we can change in the off season. I guess I just was doing my math wrong or something. But yeah, that 4 it's tacked off because what I changed is that when you start with less than 100 yards allowed, it gives you 4 points, not 5. And that was the train of thought behind that change. But I'm sure we'll switch it back next season and get like a proper adjustment once we talk through it. Anyway, so we've all hit winner of the weeks.
I believe so.
Winners of the week, yeah, okay. All right, so now let's move into loser of the week. Va, who you got?
loser of the week. Unfortunately, I got JB as loser of the week. Mainly because I think he had the chance to maybe take advantage. Well, a couple of reasons. He had the chance to take advantage of my loss and kind of get back up at the top of the West, tied record wise with me. I think I'd still have the head to head, but his team just completely shit the bed. Like single digits, I think mostly everyone. Kamara did pretty good. Lamar Jackson, like underperformance from him, and I think it's been a couple weeks. Lamar Jackson hasn't done that well. And it was to follow Spike, which Jordan you gave winner of the week to because, or was it Jordan or Sean?
Sean did. I wanted to.
Both wanted to. Exactly, yeah. And it was like, again, low scoring week, but I think did JB go to lowest that week?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so not just because it's the lowest scoring, but what it meant.
Yeah.
For him. And yeah.
Yeah, he had the chance to close that gap with you.
Yeah, I was actually like, when Sean brought up that every winning record kind of lost, I didn't notice that it happened, but I was like keeping an eye on Sean, hoping he lost, obviously, so I could keep that gap close because I was like, I'm pretty much losing. And then I'm keeping an eye on JB, hoping he doesn't catch up to me. So thankfully, everything stayed how it was, games behind wise, but yeah, I'd have to give it to JB.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to argue with that. That's a tough loss. And when you score the least amount of points of anyone in the week, it's almost a given to take the loser of the week. And then it's easy to give the loser of the week also to the second lowest scorer, which was me. And that's who I'm going to give the loser of the week to myself.
Oh, shit.
And for the biggest reason of all, I fucking lost to Loach. Anybody else in the league, I would have just taken my lumps. But I fucking lose to Loach. And I have just an abysmal performance from people that I rely on. Aaron Jones, 6.8 points. Can't have it. Mikey Williams, 2.7 points. Can't have it. Cortland Sutton, Russ, do something. Throw him the ball.
I was waiting for that second half pop-off performance.
Oh, I was too. Never came. And then my boy Donnie. I said I was going to drop him, but looking at the kicker landscape, I don't know if I want to go back to the Gug. So Donnie might have a place on my roster for another week. But yeah, dude, it was not a good week. Not a good week.
That's fair. And I mean, Loesch did well for the week. Just behind Tuck, second highest scoring.
Yeah, he had his 3 RBs, 2 RBs in flex, score over 20, which is real nice. And then obviously
like
Travis
consistent
Kelce.
down the lineup.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm my loser of the week.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. So my loser of the week is going to go to Mr. Va, or I should say Dr. Lieutenant Va. For the similar reasons that Dr. Lieutenant Va gave it to Lamar Stan, aside from the low scoring portion, because you did put up over 100. And
I put up more than you.
What's that?
I thought I put up more than you.
You did. And it was really mainly because you were unable to close the gap. That's
yeah.
As of now, I was worried because once because I knew Ramondre Stevenson was going to do damage as soon as I think it was like a 3rd and 10 in like the third quarter. Or no, not even. It was like the first quarter or something like that. He had rushed off like a 30-yard touchdown. And was already at 15 points. And I was like, yeah, he's been popping off. He's gonna do his thing. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But then when I went into the third quarter, I wasn't able to check my phone again until like late in the fourth. And when I went away, it was like, Tyreek Hill playing with a 3rd-string QB with 4 points, and Dalvin Cook getting stuffed to that point with 4 points.
Yeah.
And when I came back and they were both in the 20s, I was like, okay, so this is what this is gonna be. And so once I realized I was losing on my end, it was about making sure that Va and Jordan didn't get the dubs, or at least hoping. And so with Va, I was worried. I was worried you'd close the gap and we'd be tied for the best record. And I obviously don't want that. And Jordan getting a step closer, because I keep saying I like your team. I think your team's good. I mean, I barely beat you when we played, and I think you have a solid-ass team. And so you taking L's is something in my division that I do need. And so you being 1 game back from me worried me a little bit. And so I was rooting for the L's there. But Va, yeah, Jordan already crowned himself loser of the week. And so Va, for not being able to close the gap, I'm gonna give you and plus you lost to Bums R Us. Guy with the name Bums R Us. Gave him a
4th in the East.
Gave him a 500 record with a 2.2, which Jordan pointed out earlier, 2.2 kicker and a negative. I'm sorry, kicker, running back.
Negative 4 defense.
Let's go, Bums.
You're in love with Bums.
I do love some Bums.
That's fair, and I did consider obviously myself in the biggest loser discussion, but in my own defense, the injuries I think is what did it for me. I was really expecting Jonathan Taylor to be back, maybe Damian Harris and Chris Olave was just a concussion. I was hoping he'd be cleared, but what else was I going to say?
I mean, you
and the Joe Burrow thing, throwing 4 TDs.
You took 2, yeah, and that actually was another reason to add to it. When you have 2 Bengals receivers and your opposing team, the quarterback throws 4 touchdowns and none of them are to any of them, so you had no benefit from that aspect. And
exactly.
And also,
who did he throw all those to?
So it was 2 to Jamar Chase, 1 to Mixon, and then 1 was a run-in himself.
Oh, so he threw 3. So
3, yeah.
Yeah, and none of them being 2 of the receivers. One of them being T. Higgins, who's been great so far this year.
Yeah.
So, and then also keep in mind, you had 2 RB1. You have 2 RB1s, and both RB1s were out. You basically lost both of them. So
exactly. And I'd argue, like, with Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs as RB1 and 2, and then Kenneth walking the flex, hoping he keeps us up going forward, that's solid. I'm happy with my performance with those buys and injuries, but yeah, obviously not enough.
Yeah, because now when you're at full health, you're sitting there with Allen, Taylor, Jacobs, Debo, Higgins. What's your tight end? Who's going to be your guy? Is it you going to stick with Njoku?
Oh, sticking with Nyok, however you say his name,
Okay, because
Njoku.
yeah, he's been doing well. And then Walker in the flex and Niners D and Justin Tucker. I mean,
That's
fucking
funny.
stacked, stacked. So yeah, but still,
And
eligible.
hearing my lineup like top to bottom, that sounds so good. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think Dalton Schultz is droppable at this point. Honestly, I don't know when. I don't know if Dak's going to be back anytime soon. He's been questionable for a
Dak
while.
says he's determined to return against the Lions. So
All right. Oh, so this week.
yeah, that's what he's been saying. But we'll see what Jerry does decision wise. Um, yeah,
Jer.
that's that's my loser. So let's take a look at these matchup of the weeks. Moving into this next week, leave last week behind. Forget about it. Va, who you got?
All right. I got you and Loesch. Um, Mainly because Loesch, like I know he's so when it was that first week where he put up like 180 or something, and he was like, "I have ascended" or whatever. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. You put up 180 points against a team that put up like 70 or 80. It's whatever. He has a solid team, just I guess inconsistent. But picking up Geno Smith was great on his part. But if he keeps this up and he keeps like he was what second high score this week, definitely the highest by far. He shattered the record week 5. If he keeps this up, he's going up against you. I'm low key rooting for him, but just against you because I don't want him catching up to me in the West.
Yeah,
So I think he needs to keep that momentum going, and I need to close that gap between me and you.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I don't want to root for Loesch, I kind of need to this week.
Yeah, and I think it's just interesting to watch because, like, yeah, you never you never wanted to root for Lish, but it's crazy. He started off 0-3. Wait, 0-3 or
0 4.
0-4?
0 4.
0-4, and then yeah, he's been doing pretty good these last couple weeks. So it's just interesting to watch. And then up against formerly undefeated, but now 4-1 or 5-1, fighting kneecaps.
I should have known better that you can't. And this is going to be wrong because someone's going to beat him and take it, but you can't. Maybe you can't go up against the Wardussi with his own Wardussi and beat him. I guess that's just. Is that against human nature?
Well,
Is that
no,
against?
I mean that's just implying now that he's going to be um, lossless.
No, well, I mean from the sense where it's like he can get it taken from him, but if you have it and you're going up against him, he's gonna take it
Oh, I
back.
see. I
He's
see.
gonna take it back from you.
Gotcha.
Like he's not gonna. So if he loses it again and then match up with that person who takes it or whoever has it by that point in the playoffs, like he's taking it back from you.
Yeah.
So
It's like home field advantage.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what. I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm not sure about this Loesch ascension. Hopefully, I can be the one who ends that ascension. I understand with the standings and who's trying to catch up. Can't really root for that, but I would like to be the one who crushes his ascension. So
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
let's be clear. Even if his ascension ends, that'll be a bright day for the league as well.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Like this matchup, there's really no losers in the eyes of the league.
yeah. Because
Loesch
you,
wins,
That's
takes down
that's
the
true.
Cuck. Cuck wins and shuts up Loesch for at least 1 week.
Yeah.
yeah. So either
And
way,
even I agree. Even on like, um, in the sense that I just want Sean to lose because of like my own ego and wanting to have be tied for the best record. But
Yes.
then like I should be rooting for Sean because Loesch is in my division, and if he's actively ascended, I need that to come to a stop.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So either way, everyone else walks away happy, but only one of us can walk away happy. So I think that'll lead right into my matchup of the week. I'm gonna go ahead and say my matchup of the week is actually I'm going to tangent do what I always do. Actually, just in case it's Jordan's, I'm not going to yet. I'll save it for the end. My matchup of the week is Dr. Lieutenant Vava against Livin' in Babylon.
All
I'm
right.
excited for this gauntlet fucking matchup, considering there's a chance that Jordan might have by the time this matchup rolls around. So this might change of the roster we're looking at for Jordan's. I know and it's not even unfair to say he published it into the league. Running backs. Who wants him? I got him. So, are you? I don't even put you on the spot, but I'm just gonna speculate that maybe he's in the market to get a wide receiver one right now with all his running backs and your receiving core not being the best. So maybe you look a little.
That would be nice.
Maybe you look a little more daunting come a day or two from now because you've added a wide receiver one and you're still so stacked that if you were to lose even a lower tier RB that you have, you just throw another one in there because you have.
This is a new low for you, Sean.
What?
Promoting your own agenda using a matchup.
Promoting my own agenda. What agenda am I promoting? What agenda am I promoting, boss? Say it to the league. Say it to the league.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't say it to the league. Now the league's curious. Ted's listening to this right now, 24 hours from now, and he's curious. So say it.
When young Vava joined the Discord, there was a discussion going down about a possible trade.
Yeah, but let's be totally transparent here. You've been talking to multiple people.
Hey, whether I have or haven't, that's
trade talks are trade talks. There's nothing wrong with that. You guys were talking about it before the podcast. Nothing wrong with that. I'm saying it's new low for Sean for saying, hey, you're going up. Hey, Jordan, you're going up against a pretty good team. Do you want to look more daunting? Do you want a wide receiver one or a running whatever? That's the new low for you.
Okay.
Not talking trades. Which I don't care about that. It's the way you're promoting your own agenda.
Hey, listen. You're one of the closest people to me record wise, and this guy over here probably has one of the best. One of the best rosters in this league as well, and he's in my division. And so, listen, I'm not saying, but I'm saying. So I'm looking forward to this matchup here. I see that Living in Babylon does not have a quarterback currently.
Yeah, and the reason for that will probably be revealed later on in this episode as we examine some, the budget summary.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll see that my opponent actually outbid me for Matt Ryan.
Oh, wow, and you know what? That adds layers to the matchup of the week because now it's the guy you could have had. And now your opponent's using him against you. Let's see if it pans out because Matt Ryan, he's up and down. So that's
my deep pockets were zippered shut and I didn't put any money on them.
There you go.
Wait, if you don't put money, does it show up in the offers report?
I think it'll still show you placed a $0 bid.
Does it have to be on the computer though?
Yes, their offers report.
Because there's an offers report. There's an offers report on the mobile app now, but
it doesn't show the $0 bids. I've noticed that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I like this matchup. It's two really good teams going at it, and I'm excited to see who ends up taking the dub. I would say I'm going to go ahead and just express my feelings right now. I think that win or lose on my end, I think it would be better for me if strictly because of division Va takes this. Even if he ends up tied record-wise with me, he doesn't affect my bye week. And the closer you get to me, Jordan, as the season goes on, the more nervous I get because you were the one who closed that gap and took it from me last year, the bye week. So, I don't like when that cushion gets slimmer. So yeah, I'd say my blessing here for the win is going to Vava, so I'd like to win. But that's my matchup, though, because I am very intrigued by it.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead with my matchup of the week, and it's a battle of 2 3-3 teams. One from the measly ass West, and one from the damn beasts in the East. It's gonna be Bums R Us versus #1 Lamar Stan. Got a juicy matchup of Lamar versus Joey Burr. My thing's loading. Eckler versus Alvin Kamara. Who is he back? Is he finally going to start doing some things? We'll see. And then, I mean, yeah, I just 2 3-3 teams, East versus West. Tuck has the Gug. I didn't even notice that until now. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this one shakes out.
Yeah, I think that this will be a good one too. And I think this, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not one with some sexual tension in it as well?
I'm not going to get into their personal life. I'm sure there is some very sexual tension in between these two, but like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into it.
Yeah, they're personal.
Yeah, let's respect the players' privacies.
Yeah, that's fair.
What they do in the locker room showers together is their own business.
That's true. That's a good point.
Even if I did record it the last time I was in there.
Wait, why were you in there?
Because I'm one of the players, dude. I'm just one of the guys.
I gotcha. Now, was it?
I go in the locker room. They're like, "Hey, how'd you get in here?" I'm like, "Oh, the equipment staff let me in." They're like, "You can't be in here." I'm like, "Yeah," and then they just kind of forget about me.
Okay. Were they like, when all that was going on, were they like half shirtless?
You can't be half shirtless. You're either shirtless or you are with shirt.
So, what about the portion of your body that is shirtless?
Are we getting into this right now?
I feel like we kind of have to.
Let's do it. Let's do it. There's no other opportunity.
All right, background. Whoever's listening, and then we're going to put a poll in the chat.
Just assume everyone listens.
Jordan brought up, can you ever be anything besides 100% shirtless or 0% shirtless?
Well, hold on. Like, not to interrupt you, but can we give full background? I have a picture of Va shirtless as his contact picture. And I
don't know why.
And I said in that picture, you sent me the picture. And I said that, Va, you are 100% shirtless. And then Jordan chimed in. And go ahead, Va, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, and then Jordan's like, can you be anything besides 100% shirtless or 0% shirtless? And I'm on Jordan's side. I
don't think it's possible to be 50% shirtless.
Yes, as a person, you can't be 50% shirtless. You have a shirt, or if it gets ripped off, which was Sean's argument, it's half a shirt that you have on, but you still have some kind of shirt.
Correct. You can be wearing 50% of a shirt, but you are not shirtless in that instance.
Correct.
So maybe, and so then my end of it was, and maybe it's just a semantics thing, because Va, you did send a message towards the end there that kind of made it more semantics than anything. That my portion of it was, because I don't disagree when the way Jordan's setting it, that where it's like you as a person aren't shirtless because technically you have shirt on, but also you don't have an entire shirt on. Like my point was that like you have, there's a part of your body that gets covered by a shirt. And if you have a ripped shirt, my example when we were texting was a shirt that's like ripped from maybe just above the belly button down, that portion of your eligible to be covered by a shirt body of your torso is not covered. It is shirtless. There is no shirt there where there could be shirt. So that would make that portion of your body is shirtless, and that portion of your body is still part of you, so you are therefore partially shirtless. And that's what's mine.
I would disagree.
You a part of your body has a shirt. So I see what you're saying, Sean. Like, and a part of your body doesn't.
But I didn't say, remember, I'm not saying 100%. That's why I'm saying partially shirtless. Part of your body isn't. Part of your body is. Part of your eligible body to be covered by shirt isn't
Okay.
and is.
So if you're talking about that specific part of the body, so let's say you're talking about my torso below my belly button is shirtless. That's an accurate statement. My torso above my belly button is 0% shirtless, i.e., it has a shirt. That's also accurate. You as a person, if any part of your body is covered by a shirt, no matter how much, you have a shirt, and therefore you cannot be shirtless. You can't be 50% shirtless because the fact that you have the shirt trumps everything. You have a shirt, you can't be shirtless. Doesn't matter where it is, how much it is.
Yes. And I look at it like this. If I see a guy walking around with half his shirt ripped off, I'm not saying, oh, why is that guy half shirtless? No, I'm
Okay.
saying, why is that guy wearing a torn shirt?
Yeah.
Or why is that guy wearing half a shirt?
Okay. But this is why I'm saying semantics, okay? Because, like, so to your point, if you walk into a restaurant where it's like the idea is no shirt, no shoes, no service, right? You have to have a shirt on, and you walk in and you took a shirt, you put it on your leg, and you tied it so it wouldn't fall off, and you walked in with no shirt on to go in, they're gonna say you can't come in because you're shirtless, and then you say, being the smartass you are, I'm not shirtless, I have a shirt right on my leg, and they're gonna say, well, put it on where it's supposed to be, because you're not wearing a shirt on where you're supposed to put a shirt on your body, you're considered shirtless. You're still getting kicked out of the restaurant, even if your smartass says, I have a shirt, it's just on my leg. So
yeah, but who said anything about wearing a shirt on their leg? What are you going on about?
I see Sean's point.
Because Varun said earlier that it doesn't matter where it is on your body. If you have a shirt, that makes you eligible as not shirtless. But when it's realistically applied, you can't put a shirt on your leg and call yourself not shirtless. Really, like yes, you do have a shirt, but it's not where the shirt's supposed to be on you. So you're still getting kicked out of places where if you're not allowed to be shirtless, you can't be in there.
Okay, so in that case, I would argue, I will concede that, where let's say you're holding a shirt in your hand, I would consider you shirtless. So I guess I would revise my statement to say it's got to be on your body or your torso. But let's say I'm wearing half a shirt, like it's torn, like half my body's visible. The restaurant might not let me in because it's maybe not up to dress code or whatever, but I would still argue that since I have a shirt on my torso, I'm not shirtless.
No, and part of me agrees with that because like if a girl with a cropped shirt goes into that restaurant, she's not gonna get kicked out for being.
Well, let's be honest. If a girl walks into the restaurant with no shirt, she's still getting service.
Well, yes,
probably,
yes, of course.
And she's probably been doing some servicing, if you know what I mean.
This is true. She wouldn't get kicked out, but this is again why I'm saying it's all just because she isn't shirtless. But I would say it's just because an appropriate amount of her isn't shirtless. Like there's still the
so you're conceding that you are incorrect in this.
No,
I'm
just saying that it's a semantics thing where it's not necessarily in either.
But you can't. But you can't be 50% shirtless.
Yeah, you're either shirtless or you have a shirt on.
I'm just saying that
if you have half a shirt on, you're not 50% shirtless. You're not shirtless because you have half a shirt on.
No, see, I that's where I'm just saying like that's
like it's all or nothing. You have.
I don't think
you have nothing on your torso.
I've explained my bit already. I've explained my bit already. That's
all right. Well, we'll let the league decide.
Yes, league. Can you be 50% shirtless, or are you just with or without shirt?
Yeah. Also, I will say I'll chime in one last bit that different from what I've said already. Which is just because it's not commonly used, like you don't look at someone with like a cropped shirt and say to them, "Oh, you're 50% shirt." Doesn't mean that it's not true, though. Doesn't mean that it's not true, even though it's not used. So like I wouldn't look at someone and say, "Oh, look at you, you're 50% shirtless," right? And that's my point. Like it's still
and we like Jordan and I still disagree on that point.
What's that?
And I like Jordan and I still disagree on that point, I believe. Don't
Yeah, I
want to
think
speak
that's
for Jordan, but I
the
think,
point where we're.
yeah.
With what? Repeat that.
Like
I'm just
Sean's
trying to say,
saying,
I understand it's not a common thing. It's not common to be like, oh, you're 50% shirtless. I understand it's not something that's said, but I'm just saying because I feel like that could be some
you,
misconception with the whole like someone wearing a cropped shirt. Just because I'm saying yes, someone wearing a cropped shirt isn't getting kicked out of a restaurant because they have a shirt on. Person is still 50% shirtless. Like I'm just keeping to that
I
point.
disagree.
yeah, and I disagree as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what the league says. All right, moving. So, what do we call that segment?
We just call it nothing. Let's just move on.
Okay. All right. Let's move into the offers report. Let's take a
Oh
peek.
my gosh, this is riveting.
All right,
I
here we
love this
go.
part.
Oh, a lot of movement. A lot of movement. So, let's start from the top. King of the West spent $18 on Latavius Murray.
Oh,
I was about to rip him for that, but Broncos country
Broncos,
West Ride
yeah.
spent $8. No one else spent money though. Was there something I missed? Because I wasn't thinking Latavius Murray was gonna really matter.
I mean, he took over the lead spot. I mean, fucking Melvin Gordon didn't place. I don't even know if he played a single snap in the second half.
Wow,
It was all Latavius.
I didn't even see that. Yeah, so I just didn't pay attention to that game. Wow. So he's starter going forward.
It looks that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon rode the bench for pretty much the entire second half.
Dude's a fumble machine. All right, so I added the Patriots defense for $13. And the Patriots
A lot of people after that.
went for the Patriots defense. Spank Engine put 5, Bums put 5, Va put 2 for the Patriots D. Now, I don't think I overspent. What's the consensus from the rest of the chat here?
I don't think so. They've been solid.
Yeah, I mean, if people are putting $5 bids, what's another $8?
$8 is a chunk. But I just wanted to secure them just because.
I mean, you look at who they've played. 2 bums the past 2 weeks, and I mean, 17 and 13 points.
I don't know if they played 2 bums. I'd say last week they played a bum, and then the week before they actually had a tough matchup. It's just they just prepared really well. Like they played a good team. It's just they really handled them. It's just one of those games.
Get the hell up! That's a damn lie.
So anyway. So bums. Speaking of bums are us. Picked up the Jets D for $5, which the only other bid on it was the Spank Engine, putting 0 down. The Spank Engine picked up Noah Fant for $1. Get that tight end spot.
I think that's good, yeah.
Yeah, Higbee's on the bye week. Lieutenant Va picked up Matt Ryan for the $1. And then Living in Babylon tried to pick up Matt Ryan. We discussed this earlier, but wouldn't open his pocketbook for him at all. Stingy. You know that the dollars don't roll over.
They don't?
No.
Oh, dude, then we got to restart this year. I thought they rolled over. That's why I haven't been spending any money.
Actually, so here's our...
When did this happen?
So listen, we said it on a pod a couple pods ago that this is what we're here for now, and we are teaching everybody about the fab and everything, so there's no misconceptions. And yes, money does not roll over.
Oh, dude.
No.
Oh, dude.
No one told you. How's that fair?
Dude.
Also, I don't think it's fair to say that.
Wait, Sean, is this a new thing or has this been a thing for like the last 4 years?
Well, how long have we been fabbing for?
A couple years.
3 years?
3 years. This is year 3 or year 4?
3.
3. Yeah. So, it's been like that the whole time. Believe it or not.
Wow.
You start with $100 no matter what.
Oh my gosh! I thought with $0 bids, everything changed.
Yeah,
nope, does not roll over. So hey, feel free to open those pocketbooks. I also think I know you could have had Matt Ryan. Yeah, And I think it's also unfair to call people who are just trying to help toxic, because we're definitely just trying to inform.
What do you? Who called anybody toxic?
There was definitely a message about host toxicity in the chat
Huh.
when talking about us discussing people not knowing much about the free agent budget and such. Did you not see that
You're-
message?
No, I must not have.
That was from
I
whatever
think
week.
I caught
Whatever
a
week we had
caught a
a
glimpse.
similar revelation. Whatever week you had a similar revelation about Fab, there was a message about host toxicity in the chat.
Is this the group me?
The group
Yeah.
me, yeah.
Oh yeah, the second I graduated, I deleted the group me just to like get away from distractions
Just
and all
social
that
media in
kind of stuff.
general.
I have it pulled up. October 6th. It was JB said, "Dude, why the fuck are these hosts so toxic about people not understanding the intricacies of the waiver?"
So
Well, JB, I hate that it was you, but I don't consider myself toxic.
no, I don't think that's
Maybe
fair. I don't think that's fair.
obnoxious is very fair, but
Yeah, toxic. That makes me feel icky about myself. Hey, are you all right over there?
no, I'm
Is he
sorry.
gonna die again?
I was scrolling back up in the chat, and I saw a picture of a female inviting me to watch MMA and wrestle in bed, and like
Oh.
the focus just laser focused on that. But I'm back.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, yeah. So finishing off this little bit here, I think is that everything. Oh, you added Mike Gesicki for $0 because you only open your pocketbook for nothing, and then AJ Dillon got so a drop. Cam Akers got dropped.
Wow.
Cam Akers is dropped, and because as Matt called him before, a failed experiment. Now AJ Dillon, who you dropped, are you gonna come to regret that, Jordan?
It's possible, but I think after a couple weeks he'll drop AJ Dillon as well once he sees that the Green Bay backfield is a fucking dumpster fire
All right, and
because they
then
put everything on Aaron's shoulders and expect him to do everything, and
And
the
we all
man's
know
old.
Aaron's not that guy.
Well, he is, but he
Yeah.
is when he gets some help, you know.
yeah, he needs. I thought he was the guy who needed no help because he's the goat.
I mean, everyone needs help, you know.
I thought he was the guy who could make like Romeo Dobbs, Devonte Adams because he's just that good of a quarterback.
He could if Romeo Dobbs would just accept his role as Devonte Adams and step it up.
Oh, okay.
So Rodgers can't do that.
Rodgers can, but Romeo Dobbs plays a role too. I mean, he's catching the balls, you know.
Okay.
Rodgers can only put it like in his face so many times.
Have you
And
watched
I'm
all
sure-
Packers games and seen that has been the case?
I mean, I've watched a lot of clips of Aaron putting it in Dobbs' face.
And
No.
Dobbs just doesn't want it. Is it consensual?
Yeah, Dobbs isn't about it.
Okay. All right. Well, to finish off this segment, you have Tuck picking up the Gug for 0, and Spank Engine is the claim that was unsuccessful for the Jets. The Jets D. So, all right, moving into. Oh man, Jordan, you got to do this for us. Our favorite segment.
Where we at the budget?
We're at the budget.
Budget summary.
Take it
Okay, this is. Listen, guys, we have some big news. Follow Spike has spent money, and he now sits at $98
Ooh.
for the year.
Whoa.
So he better be careful. He's gonna run out of money quick if he's spending like this. Next we have yours truly at $96. You know, I just like to be frugal. I'm a guy that plans for the future.
Well, no,
After
you
me-
thought it rolled over, so you were trying to be smart.
Oh yeah. Wait, it doesn't?
No, we just
Like
went
I
over
said-
that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, well, like I said, I planned for the future. I thought it rolled over. That's what I was planning for next season, but I'll start
But
spending.
hey, now you can plan for playoffs.
Yes. All right, so now we are looking at number one Lamar stand sitting at $90. And after him, we are looking at Varun Patel, Dr. Lieutenant Vava, $87.
Bob, did you
After
feel
Dr.
offended by the
Lieutenant,
way he just said that? By the way he said your name?
Not at all.
Okay, just wondering. Sorry.
after that, we got James Wardell at $82, the King of the West.
Pretty sure it's James.
Behind, it's James when it's convenient for him, and then
That's a good point.
At Starbucks.
and then other times it's Hamis, and then sometimes it's who knows.
Sometimes
So
it's
he's
more
sitting
white
at
guys.
$82. And then we're looking at after $82, we go to Ted Samans, Thomas the Spank Engine, $77. And then we got Cole Popovi sitting at $71, the Ascended Loesch, which hopefully is coming to a quick descent soon. And like I said, he's sitting at $71. And then from him, it's looking like Matthew Ganthier, Broncos Country. Let's ride. At $56. And to round it out, we have Sean Howard and Tucker Nagent at $55. Biting Kneecaps and Bums Are Us.
All right.
And that concludes our budget summary.
My heart kind of dropped when I heard you start saying Tucker's name. But
Why? What did he say? What was he saying?
nothing.
Okay. All right. So now we move into, after that riveting budget summary. Now we move into the icy hot takes presented by Say it.
All right, spicy hot takes. Man, I forgot
presented
about
by
the
who?
spicy
Presented by
hot.
who?
Hold up, you're cutting off. What'd you say?
I said presented by who? Who sponsors the icy hot takes?
I don't fucking know.
Oh. Oh wow.
Listen, Shaq, he didn't mean it. He knows.
You're gonna lose us
Wait,
a
is it-
sponsorship that we
Is
worked
it
so
still?
fucking
Is
hard
it still
for.
Shaq? I thought that sponsorship
No.
ended.
No,
It did, and I
Jordan
had to
got
do a
back
lot to
for
get it
us.
back.
Jordan, what'd you have
Okay,
to
it's
do this
back.
week?
This week, I didn't do anything. He said my first few weeks wasn't payment enough.
Oh, well, that's good.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Va.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna have to pick a spicy hot take right now.
Did you say spicy?
He said icy.
Okay.
Shaq,
no, I
he's a
said
joker. He's a comedy.
I said
comedic
spicy
legend.
hot. I'm putting my own Indian twist on it.
that's what I was
Shaq's not
thinking.
going to look at it.
Yep.
This is gonna be bad for me this is gonna be bad for me in the long run. If it does come true. But I'm gonna say that Ascended Loesch, like with his 2-4 record, I don't know how spicy this is, but I don't think he is going to make the. Well, I guess it's not going to be bad for me. I don't think he's going to make playoffs.
Oh.
Okay. So you're just down on the Ascension altogether. You think it's fraud.
I am. Yes, and I think that's bold for me to claim right now, but yeah, I don't think he makes playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of this league, I hope he doesn't.
Okay. Do we have? All right, so I guess I'll do mine. So I'm gonna build off of what I was saying earlier regarding the War Dus. So my icy hot is that. Here's my icy. That yes, I think it does stand true that when Wardussi when Wardle has the Wardussi, or when someone else has it and he plays them, he will win. So he will beat someone going into a week if they are the current Wardussi connoisseur, because you cannot beat the Wardussi himself as the Wardussi connoisseur that same week. And my hot take is that come playoff time, Wardle will make the playoffs. And I believe that with Wardle being in the West, and I don't think it matters once you get down to a Wester can still play in Easter, correct? Depending on
Correct.
Okay. So I think it's going to be the King of the West knocking out who will currently be holding the Wardussi at that time, living in Babylon from the playoffs.
Oh.
I think at some point you end up with the Wardussi right around playoff time, and you face Wardle, and Wardle claims back the Wardussi, and then gets taken out
Round 2.
It would be round 2, right? Yeah, in round 2.
Gets taken out as he holds the Wardussi.
As he holds the
Wait,
Wardussi.
so
meaning
that means that Wardussi is going to go on.
This is building. Meaning somebody will end up being the Wardussi connoisseur that's not him at the end of the season.
But whoever it is might also end up being league championship. There's a possibility of that happening too.
Well, at that point it would have to be, right? Because the last winner.
No, because you're right. Yeah.
So I'm not going to speak on that part because Harambes will when it comes to something that serious like winning the league. But I will say that Jordan will get knocked out, and Wardle will not end as the connoisseur, meaning he'll get knocked out too.
Wow.
Okay. My icy hot take is, we're all sitting here looking at the little spank engine that could. He's 1-5, sitting at 5th in the West. But listen, he's Thomas the Spank Engine. And he's going to turn this shit around. He thinks he can, and he will. I think the Spank Engine goes on honestly, I think he gets to 500. He goes on a nice little 4-game win streak. That's as far as I can see ahead. Maybe he goes further. But I think he's going to get himself to 500, and will he escape the loser's bracket? I don't know. I can't see that far ahead. But I think the Spank Engine, starting this week, goes on a little 4-game streak.
That is bold.
Can I ask that is an icy hot. Can I ask a follow up to that though?
Yeah.
Does this spark for him, considering his roster's dealt with injuries? Does it start by him acquiring a couple new pieces?
I don't know. That's up to him. I think I don't see the makeup of his team as he's getting these dubs, but I just see him getting dubs.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's not like you don't know if he needs to rebuild. You don't know if his players are just going to start doing well.
And you wouldn't do anything to help.
Whatever happens.
Hot take.
I just feel positive energy from his team.
Right.
And no, I'm not going to sit here and tell Ted, if he trades with me, he'll be 4 games better. Something.
Who would do that?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know,
I'm not going to use.
Sounded like what you were doing.
No, they did not.
Trade or no trade. I'm feeling. I don't know whether or not he's making a trade, but I just feel positive energy coming from the Spank Engine that could.
Got it. All right. So final segment here. The Watson, sponsored by Snickers. Maybe the team just needs a Snickers. All right. Va, you're in first according to Watson right now.
Yep.
And then I'm in second. Jordan, you're in third. So we're currently sitting at the top 3. Yet all 3 of us are losers from last week.
Wow.
So Thomas, the Spank Engine, remains at 10. The King, the fake King, the faux King, actually dropped after beating me 2 spots. Probably because of who had to go up. But yeah, we're looking at Bums R Us staying right at 5. Broncos country at 8. Lamar stand bumping all the way to 6 after a loss, after scoring 80 and losing.
Are
He
these
goes
are these
up.
are these bumps just from this week, or is it like draft? It's draft day to the current standings, right?
Yeah, so they always base it off of draft day and then they shift it by day, honestly, because sometimes I wake up and I'm 1 and then the next day I'm 2 and you're 1. Lately is
Okay,
what it's been doing.
gotcha.
So yeah, they always start it from just the original draft's prediction. So yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap on the Watson segment, and that's a wrap on this pod. So another successful episode of Harambedome. Va, is there anything that you would like the league to hear?
Not really, honestly. I think I'm happy about the league so far, just because how my team's been doing. But I think it's going to be we do need to decide on a punishment though, because
Yes.
are we doing the hot chip thing again, or we need to decide something because it's not going to be. It's time for the loser. Like the loser gets decided, then we decide on a punishment, and it never gets done.
Yeah, that's a good point. We didn't decide a punishment going into the season.
Yeah, so I think most important thing, let's figure out this T-shirt shit. 50%, 100%, 0%,
That's
and then
priority
we
one.
also yes, that's number one, and then figure out the punishment.
Okay.
Which, if you ask me, the T-shirt thing is kind of already solved. Sean's wrong, but I'll
Yeah, I
let
don't know why this discussion needs to be had.
I'll allow input from other league members, but
I'm sitting in the Zoom meeting because they're talking about like what we need to do for this next month for our rotation, and I cannot pay attention because I'm looking at the chat, needing to reply because Sean is just so wrong.
No, I listen. We'll see what they say. All right. Well, then that is a wrap.